now beaming into Nerd FT Radio.
This is Nerd FT Radio. We're nerds full-time, explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. I'm your host, RSG, aka Web3's #1 Marvel Snap streamer, and I'm here with Crypto Crier, aka the High on Life Adventurer.
Ooh,
Crier,
like
how are you?
Doing good, man. We had a nice little weekend. Went downtown. There was like a winter festival, so we're all hanging out. That was always fun. And then just living the life, living the dream.
Living high on life in multiple ways, always living high on life. But by the way, before we get started, I would like to go ahead and make a big shout out to Argentina for winning the World Cup. Congratulations to all the cocky Argentinians that will probably be tweeting, Instagramming, TikToking, Facebooking, MySpacing, and everything for the next 4 to 5 months. So congratulations to you, and
I got an Argentina tattoo.
Oh wow. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, you're getting tatted up at this point. Every project you mint, anything you talk about, you just get them tattoos all over. Absolutely. But other than that, let's get going. Some interesting stuff has been going on. Obviously, the last episode, we had a guest. We talked a little bit about gaming, the overall Web3 scope of everything. But now we got to get back into what's been going on the last few days, last few weeks. And there's a few topics that we can go into. Let's not start with the one I really want to start with, because we can leave that for number 2, maybe even number 3. And it's obviously Donald J. Trump's NFTs. Can't believe I have to say that, but we will talk. We will talk about it because
generational wealth.
Obviously, I miss generational wealth because I'm not going to be the one that later down the road, someone looks at my wallet and they're like, wait, did this guy really buy Trump NFTs? I'm not going to be that guy, number 1. But number 2, we do have a pretty cool feature on MetaMask that did come out that you are actually able to fund your MetaMask now with PayPal. Obviously, how you and I look at it, it's more like a buzzword, like a headline more than anything else, but still a really cool feature. We'll talk about that. And number 3, you've been messing around with Chat GPT, right? Yeah. You've been messing around. Are you like a coder now? Are you a coder? Is that
getting there?
Almost really getting there. Yeah. We'll go into that, but let's go ahead and get started with MetaMask. So the big news on the MetaMask side of things is any user of MetaMask is now able to use PayPal to fund their crypto wallet. So again, through MetaMask, you've always been able to use a credit card. You've always been on the Apple side. You've been able to use Apple Pay. Crier, on Google, have you been on Android side? Have you been able to use like Google
I've never even tried. I'm not sure on that side.
There is easy onboarding access to get your crypto. You're able to link your bank account, all this stuff. But obviously, the new thing now is PayPal. Now, when you and I would say it's not like massive news, the reason for that is I just named 5 reasons.
Yeah, 5 other ways.
There's many ways to do it, but the reason why it's such big news for others is it's just an easier way to fund yourself in your wallet.
It's just another way. Anytime that there's another company coming in and offering a new way to buy crypto, or it just makes the barrier that much smaller. And we've seen like Fidelity get into the space. We've seen a bunch of larger companies coming in through that way for the onboarding from fiat to crypto. Yeah, so I think it's interesting just to see that's the way we're going. Like every company that offers money transmitting will probably offer a way to buy crypto in the future. That's just how I see it. But I will say that PayPal and MetaMask teaming up is a scammer's delight, right?
Yeah, probably a little bit. But yeah, yes and no, because yeah, probably, right? You get the PayPal, you send it to crypto, and then poof, there goes the money.
Yeah,
bada bing. But
it's just like a marrying of two scam-ridden platforms, I feel like.
Correct, yeah, a little bit. But on the other side, a lot of people in the world use PayPal to do a lot of things. Again, we're fortunate enough on the sense of living in America, being able to use like Venmo or Cash App or Zelle.
We have options.
We have options. Other places don't. And this could allow them to have that option to go ahead and do it. When we say it's not a big headline, it's not a big headline for us Americans, but for other people, this is actually pretty massive because it allows them to fund their wallets a lot easier than before. So again, on that side of things, super cool, super awesome way of doing it. And like we always talk about it, the simpler we make anything on the transaction side of crypto, anything of explaining how to get into crypto and NFTs, anything of that sort, it's a plus, right? Yeah, it's always going to be a plus. So on that side, I will say hats off to PayPal trying to stay relevant, and hats off to MetaMask for bringing in more normies into the space.
Crypto space.
Congratulations, MetaMask.
Congrats,
and by the
guys.
way, if you tweet MetaMask out now, not a lot of bots anymore.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
It seems like they have disappeared, but obviously if you've been on Twitter lately, Elon's getting a whole mess of things right now on another side of things, but let's not touch on that. He is getting attacked at the moment for some external link stuff where you can't post anything, but that's besides the point. Let's get into the actual news, because that's literally everything everyone talked about for the last 5, 6, 7 months. All my friends from back home's dads are into NFTs now.
Yeah.
Your half of your family's into NFTs. Anyone that you walk down the street and they're old and they're probably into NFTs now, and it's because Donald J. Trump,
the Trump bag,
dropped an NFT project. Now, I will say this is on the side of make sure you know this. The people that truly dropped this NFT, it's not actually Trump. It's barely affiliated with him. They're allowed to use his likeness, and Trump is getting
and likeness, right?
And Trump's getting some funds from it, but overall, it's not like Trump coming into a Discord and saying, "Hey, what's up, everyone?" It's not that. When you look at what you're receiving from this, so let's look at it from every freaking angle. Good heavens, I can't believe we're talking about this. All right, so Trump releases an infomercial. Commercial. And I can barely say it. And this man, it literally, like when you remember when you were younger and you're watching TV and it was late at night and you were switching through the channels and you saw the infomercial that was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
That is literally
that was what happened.
What this was. You remember those coin ones?
Yeah.
They're all the coin. You can buy this exclusive coin from Alaska that's never seen before.
$1.
Yeah, $1. Yeah. So this literally felt like that. So on the sense of how much it cost, number one, it was $100 for this. Number two, it was on Polygon. And number three, what you got from these NFTs was like an AI generated, that's what they're saying at least, AI generated like Trump of himself in like multiple poses and multiple things. There's one with him on an elephant. There's one of him like holding, I think, money. One of him is like a superhero with laser eyes. Mount Rushmore one, like a golf course one, a boxing one, if I'm not mistaken, wearing like the presidential hat with the red, white, and blue, like a bunch of stuff like that. But what you received from this is the opportunity at sweepstakes, opportunity to go to his golf courses, go have dinner, go have a Zoom call with him, go have a bunch of these things. Cry, you made the joke in NRN. Yeah, it kind of sounds a little bit like Gary V stuff. Yeah. But I will say, when you look at the art,
it's better.
All right, that's not what I was going with. It's not better. He's actually growing. Gary V is growing an IP, a brand, everything. Trump is just showing off himself in the body that he wishes he had and the big hands that he wish he had. That's pretty much.
It's always I guess like the big hands one.
Yeah, and he's always trying. I don't know why they picked one with him on an elephant. That's just like.
Republicans are elephant is their.
I get that, but come on, bro. You could have made.
They're not good. Yeah, I'm not. There's nothing quality about them. I think it's just the fact that It just shows you that when you're coming into a Web3 space and you have a very large following, he was probably one of the most like purchased like shirts for a lot of the memorabilia, all of the apparel,
MAGA.
all that stuff, MAGA, all that stuff. Yeah, he cashed in on all of that, and this is just another way to get a little bit more money. That's his biggest thing. He always is trademarking and not trademarking, sorry, yeah, selling off his naming rights, all that stuff. There's school, there's all the apparel, all the like now there's NFTs. All this stuff is just a way to get money, but it just kind of shows that there's a drive for some like a community. Like he did use the word community. Did you see that?
Are we sure that wasn't a deep fake?
I have no idea. I hope
that was just crazy.
Was...
By the way, this podcast is sponsored by Trump University, the only fake university, just like the metaverse and what your father says when you tell him about your NFTs. Okay, you just had to go ahead and say that. But like you said, yes,
I've had so many people ask me about it. It's insane.
Yeah, me too.
I'm literally 25 people asking.
It's ridiculous. It's wild.
And people who have never been in crypto or that's not even their first thought. You know what I mean? They're not even talking about these things, and they're like, "Hey, how did you know what this is? How do I even do this stuff? What's this crypto stuff?"
This is it. Not the owning a Bitcoin, not the making good money, not the DeFi, not the technology, not the funny 8 picture. Donald J. Trump on an elephant.
Yeah, got him. Got the people going. Apparently.
In conclusion, everything that we talked about: Reddit, Starbucks, Doodles 2. Paper cats, any NFTs, real estate, anything you can think of, that was in the onboarding ramp for the next million. It was Donald J. Trump.
For sure.
I want to stop doing this podcast.
It's over.
Blows my mind.
Faded it.
We both faded it. We faded generational wealth. I will say again, $100. What it's actually up 1,000% at one point.
It was up I think at the peak it went to
it's
sure.
0.84 if I'm not mistaken.
And right now they're back down to pretty low. I think
0.3. I think it's 0.3. Go ahead and check it. But the one thing I would like to go ahead and say is when you looked into the actual art and whatnot of the actual art of the project, it looks like 0.31. It looks like they actually used copyrighted
there was like Adobe
pictures and Adobe stuff, watermarks, the whole nine. And again, it
just shows you if they actually had done this well and it was actually like how insane would this have done? You know what I mean? This is just an obvious like cash grab. Realistically, there's no plans for longevity. It's just a one-time sweepstakes. And again, it's $100, so it's nothing that crazy. But the people who are buying at 1 ETH or whatever,
there's like a 20 ETH sale.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like a 25, something
like a
ridiculous.
30. I think the highest was 37. But yeah,
it's probably Trump.
It is. She did. His wife did buy her own for $300,000.
Oh yeah, she bought the whole thing because no one was buying it. But I will also say that the team behind it also kept. What was it? 1,000 of the 45? Is it 45,000 collection?
45,000 total, yeah.
So 45, of course, because he's the 45th president. Good heavens, 45,000 collection. They kept 1,000. In that 1,000, they kept like a bunch of 101s, super rare ones, like the whole nine. So very sketchy on that side. And the one point I did want to bring up was on the OpenSea side when it comes to copyrighted watermarks, stealing art, the whole nine, stealing pictures, everything like that. OpenSea is pretty like on top of their game when it comes to that. So if it does come out that this is all true and they are taking and they didn't actually purchase it or whatnot, I could definitely see OpenSea bringing it down. And then the whole entire NFT space will just go into fire and flames because they'll say that OpenSea shouldn't have done that, one side, and the other side's going to be like, no, the real reason why they took it down, not like when Trump got taken away from Twitter, the real reason is they actually stole copyrighted artwork that you're not allowed to do. Fix the metadata, you're good to go. But will this team actually do it? So again, let's go ahead and see what happens. But to your point, Crier, again, listen, man.
Yeah,
it brought people in. People wanted to buy it. I can't wait for the year 2034 when we're trading our Obama and Nancy Pelosi cards with one another instead of Pokemon cards. But it is what it is.
I think I'll be going to Pelosi one with a bunch of like stock memes. That'll be good.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, all the derivatives that popped up. But no, again, I think it just shows you that people like to collect stuff at the end of the day. And when you look at RC's room full of thousands of collectibles.
By the way, Crier, look at this beauty.
That is pretty cool. I'll give you that.
Phenomenal. Keep going. Sorry.
But it just goes to show that people like to collect stuff. You make it easy, you make it cheap. People like it. It's not he already has a drive and a amount of people that really enjoy his. Pretty much 50% of the populace enjoyed him at one time. So I think that's just what it shows. 75 million people voted for him. So people complaining about a 45,000 collection, thinking it's not going to sell out, was crazy.
This stigma of 10,000 in the NFT space pisses me off. Because it was just one project. If it was CryptoPunks, if it was Apes, and then everyone decided to follow it, it blows my mind. If we want this whole entire NFT space, by the way, I'm just going on a little rant here. If we want this whole entire NFT space to do something and be something, we can't just, the number one NFT project only has 10,000 projects. That's why it's so exclusive and everyone wants to be a part of. If these NFTs are worth hundreds of ETH, thousands of ETH to get into, then the 0.01% of the world can get into it. How the heck are you going to adopt? You have to have a rich ecosystem of different level tiers to allow these people to get in so that they can work their way up. They can fantasize about it. They can be a part of it, all that stuff. I just wanted to say that this stigma of the 10,000 just blows my mind. And when people say, they're diluting the project, like, how else do you onboard more people into the ecosystem? Crier, by the way, only 10,000 people can go see the new Guardians of the Galaxy. Sorry. That's it. Hey, by the way, only 50,000 can go see
2 years ago.
Yeah, only 50,000 people can go see the new Avatar that's 3 hours long, and I've heard it's absolutely atrocious.
You heard that? I heard one person.
I've heard really bad stuff.
This one guy told me it was the best cinematic experience he's ever been to, and he's like a massive movie guy.
Ooh, I like that. Hey, listen, I've heard such bad things that I'm excited for something good. I'm probably going to go see it next week, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to go ahead and see when I'll be
Jess
able to.
And I just watched the old one, so
it held up really well.
I was really impressed. Like graphics wise,
it was before its time,
14,
bro.
15 years old.
Before its time. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I was expecting to be like, okay, just the graphics aren't going to be that good, but no, actually they held up like very well. I was very impressed.
Very
with that.
good. Definitely better than a lot of Marvel
acting
stuff.
Wasn't like anything fantastic, but it's like a big action movie. It's all about the graphics and all about the showcasing the Pandora or whatever. Yeah, I definitely think they did a really good job back then for sure. So holding up 14 years with usually sci-fi movies are like awful. Yeah watching like old Star Wars like from the 2000s. There's just like
or even earlier than that. Good storyline. This is where it comes to character development storyline. Exactly. If it's good, it can hold up. So like that old Star Wars, like the first ones, they hold up, but the graphics are pretty bad, but it still holds up pretty good. Like interesting. On the sense of Avatar, way before it's the 2000 Star Wars, like that. Those were
bad storyline and bad graphics.
Yeah, I can't even. So I'm trying to like help it out, except the scene at the end with Anakin and Obi-Wan. Everything else, it was pretty bad. Yeah. But on the sense of Avatar, again, a lot of mixed reviews saying that it doesn't have to be 3 hours. By the way, Avatar 3 is already filmed the whole 9. And not filmed, but it's like in production, everything going, ready to go. What's his name? Cameron. What's his name?
Cameron.
James Cameron is going in, and he says that he just turned in a 9-hour movie.
Pre-cut.
And he wants to CGI the 9 hours.
Oh my god!
Just to give a reference.
Show.
Give a reference on the side of
episodes.
Yeah, it's
more
ridiculous.
Than most TV shows nowadays.
Yeah, actually, that's actually pretty true. On the side of what's going on with this Avatar 2 movie, this first weekend, they're looking at around 450 million for the first weekend, which is phenomenal. But I will say they were expecting 550. Number one, I think the World Cup tied into that because like people I don't know,
busy.
It's the big, it was pretty busy on that side. Number two, they have to cut even $2 billion.
That's crazy.
$2 billion with a B dollars.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money. Oh yeah, they'll hit it. It's gonna be. I think they're gonna break a good amount of records on the second week.
I mean,
like,
on the
so
450
many people are gonna
is
go.
like pretty close to top, like all time.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. It's up there. It's ridiculous.
Got
We're gonna obviously
10.
get the numbers to after tonight, but it's gonna be top. Oh, it's gonna be top 5. Like it crushed everything out the water. I think not the first one though. But by the way, I will say they did rerun the first one in theaters to then one up Marvel, which is ridiculous because like Disney owns it. So I mean, they made money, so it makes sense. Never mind, take that back. But yeah, now Avatar 1 is now back at number 1 grossing movie of all time, but it was Endgame if I'm not mistaken. But they reran. Maybe they rerun Endgame when the new Avengers
the next one comes out.
I'll definitely go to see that. That'd be pretty
sure
cool.
you will. This guy.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, Trump has an NFT project. Be cautious on it. Some of those rewards on the sweepstakes and whatnot. The last thing I want to touch on this, when it says like a dinner, it's actually a gala with 200 people and you just get to sit there. And it's not like a, hey, Trump, and let me shake your hands while he hands you a quarter pounder like he handed those LSU kids a quarter pounder after the national championship.
Get a bucket of KFC.
You actually have to sit like 1,000 yards to the other side of the table, wave at him. He's not going to look at you. Exactly. T-shirt
cheeseburgers
cannon,
at people.
And he'll give you something on that side. And obviously on the other end of stuff, it's Zoom calls with a bunch of people. It's going to the golf course and all this stuff. Just, it feels weird.
And if you want to do any of those things, if that's up your alley, you can just enter the sweepstakes for free without owning the NFT, by the way.
Correct. And number 2, you would have to dox yourself completely. Crypto wallet, every like name, address, phone number,
KYC.
Full KYC to actually be a part of this. So again, just be cautious on that side. And if you made generational wealth, shout outs to you. We literally could have made, if you would have bought 45, like he's the 45th president, and when it was 0.07, we would like
45 grand, 60 grand, something like that. Easy.
We would have so much money. It's ridiculous. But
instead, I bought.
What did you buy?
Some stupid shit. The group chat got me to buy 4 of these rare Pepe something. Valhalla Pepes.
Valhalla Pepes. Good heavens. Yep. And that pretty much wraps our show here. Oh, Crier is degenning, which I'm actually scared of when he degens. But
everyone was doing it, and I was like, whatever. It was like $8 a piece. Fuck it.
Oh, okay. That's not bad at all. But yeah, again, I keep saying it, just be cautious. Just be cautious. Not in the sense of like them taking money from you if it goes to 0, but nothing malicious. It's just more the sense of, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. I could be off.
I think if it's something that interests you, it's not very expensive. Buy them, keep them to trade, or keep them to whatever. Do with them. If you're looking to make money off of it, it's over. If you're looking at because you like him and you want to do stuff,
listen, I will say if he tweets or makes a video, that thing's gonna pump like no other.
Oh yeah, they're people. The main people who bought them, I saw people buying them, and they're saying they don't even know how to access them. They're like,
they're on Polygon. It's a whole
but they don't even know how to move them. So like, they're definitely
crypto people too. By the way, yeah. Like it's wild. This could be the biggest, like the diamond hand holders you want in a project. This literally is the reason, because they don't know how to access these NFTs, literally. So,
or the people that the people that want that are asking me to buy. One of them was like my mother-in-law. Like she's not buying these to like flip and make money or something. She's just like, I wanted to buy one. So like, again, it's just, these are the collectibles, how they are, I feel would be, like I said, people collect stuff. They like to collect things. Let them collect.
I shake my head. And if Elon literally dropped a project, I'd be buying 50 of them. So I can't.
Exactly.
I can't. Like what they. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And just hold on tight. You're ready to make NFTs great again. Is that the slogan that we're going with? But we'll see how it goes. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of this topic,
because they're
That'd
bad.
That'd actually be really funny. Let's go ahead and talk about just at the little. We already nerded out a little bit on on that side. So let's talk about the last thing, which is honestly my most interesting topic of the night, and it's you going into becoming a coder via AI, via Chat GPT. That is crazy. So tell me a little bit about what's going on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. A couple weeks ago, this program called Chat GPT came out. It's from a company called OpenAI. And pretty much what you're able to do is talk and ask any questions how you would Google or anything like that. Just type in your question. But instead of getting just a bunch of random garbage back and you have to search for what you want, it actually does a research of what you want, and it puts it in its own words from the AI, the way that you think, like, to understand it, right? So I literally typed in, how do I start a contract on Polygon? Because I wanted to make a Polygon NFT for the whole NRN gang. I'm tired of sending out like hundreds of these things to people. I just want to airdrop it to whoever gives me their wallet. So what I did was like, oh, let's just try it out. Maybe it's not that hard. Let's see it. Literally within 15 minutes, I figured out how to do all of this stuff. Like, I have a full smart contract. I was like, write me a smart contract with 1,000 quantity, ERC 721, and like within 40 seconds, it wrote me a full smart contract that I was able to put into. I had to do some research on how to deploy it and stuff like that through Alchemy and stuff like that.
Could you have asked it how to deploy it, and it would have been like,
oh yeah, if I said, can teach me how to deploy a smart contract to, I did that too. I was having issues while watching a couple of videos through the Alchemy like learners like tutorial thing I was watching, and I was like, this guy wasn't explaining it very well for one part, and I was like, how do I install something called NPM or NPV, which is like a coding language, like app, pretty much, like that helps you create things on the code side. Yeah, I was like, how do I install this? And it's, oh yeah, go to here, type in this stuff, and it just spread out another like coding. Type this into your terminal, and bam. I know nothing about coding, and again, from the aspect of, I've multiple times I've tried to teach myself how to do this kind of stuff, and it's so daunting. I have no idea where to start. Nothing. And like from this side, I just keep asking it questions, and it keeps getting out like a very specific to what I asked, and it's explainable at a 10th grade level. Super impressive, like incredibly impressive. And again, like I've seen so many people coding up crazy stuff, and it like it can audit your smart contract. So say you wrote code, you can put it in there and say, audit this smart contract, and it'll find the errors and do all these things. And again, it doesn't fully replace the human side of it, because it's not going to be like generating new code or anything like that. It's just regurgitating already created things. But still, it's taking it into its own word, drawing from like 20 sources and giving you a correct answer. So it can literally teach you anything. If this was in school, I feel like I would have learned so much more things, because let's say I had to learn organic chemistry. Give me the code and valence numbers for these things. What are the most, like you can literally just type literally anything into it, and it gives you a very succinct and easily understandable answer. Yeah. And like on the other side of it, I was just going to be like, hey man, let's write a book. I typed that too. And it's the most important things about writing a book are character development and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what kind of characters would you like to see in a book? And it's most people like a humorous character and a very like sad character, and want character progression. And it's just so interesting that the capability of these things is just astronomical.
It's the search engine 2.0. It's the literal AI Jarvis type of thing, where you think about Iron Man, or you think about literally just Iron Man Jarvis, where he asked the AI questions. The AI is there. It's an assistant for your everyday 100%. Life. And when this is more accessible, even though it's literally very accessible,
it's very accessible, but it's also like crazy rudimentary, like still like the amount, like I was reading up on it just because I thought it was super interesting. They said that currently the AI has an intelligence of about an ant. So very low in the aspect of like its actual functioning. Yeah. But with us feeding in all this data to it, because it's all free right now, eventually they'll probably be charging for this, but they're trying to get as much data in and train it as much as possible by all these people using it within a couple of years.
It's the limit, bro.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's kind of like what I tell you about with the Tesla. Like you're driving the car, it's getting all the experiences that I drive. If the most awkward thing happens at my car, or someone runs in with a ball, or a dog, or something falls off a truck, like it's literally grabbing that data and shooting it off. And the car itself, as well as all the other cars, the fleet of Teslas, are literally like based on those interactions and based on those experiences.
For sure.
The next update, the over-the-air update, like analyzes that and all this, where he talks about how
Like over time, will just be safer and safer.
Safer
More
because of
interactions with cars hitting something that's crazy, right? Like
exactly.
it's
And on the sense of here, it's the same thing. The more you go into AI, like the more information you put into AI, the more it's going to learn. And again, if it's like an ant right now, imagine when it's a freaking elephant.
Yeah.
This thing's going to be
crazy.
Insane and can change the world. And on the sense of, I will say, regulation, laws, and everything for this, it is crucial to have that as soon as possible because things could get funky, to say the least.
We're just barely scratching the surface on this stuff. Look at crypto. It's been going for since 2009, and they still don't have regulation. If they don't have regulations on something like this, in terms of what it's capable of doing in the future, will be pretty crazy for sure. So,
yeah, it blows my mind. It's definitely interesting, and it's super cool. Again, for like you said, Crier, again, you had no idea how to do these things, and you've tried it before. That's the cool thing about this.
Yeah.
You've
like
tried
I've tried
this before,
to learn, and I've gotten
you're
like overwhelmed. Like it's not in my wheelhouse. Like I like computers like that, but coding is it's a whole different
It's
monster. Like learning a new language. It's very difficult. And again, I wouldn't say I learned how to write code or anything like that, but it was able to break it down enough to where I didn't need to, where I could I could deploy these things because it produced all the things it needed for me to produce and compile the proper code to be deployed online. So just overall, just super interesting stuff.
And again, it's just going to keep on getting better and better. And maybe I ask it, hey, listen, how can I be the best Marvel Snap player? And he's going to give me the best deck. So obviously you can tell what type of person I am.
You can only do stuff up to 2021. There's nothing from...
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So I can look into it, be like, how can I become the greatest at RuneScape?
There you go.
Obviously, from the conversation here from myself and Crier, what type of person I am and what I'm trying to learn from this AI, and the type of person Crier is. He's literally trying to code while I'm just trying to be good at a video game. So it looks like I probably should go back to school or ask the right questions next time instead of messing around trying to be the greatest of all time at a game.
I like to be very sufficient in like everything I can possibly be sufficient in. I feel like that's always my goal. But just again, it's super cool stuff. I can't wait until the day I get a AI version of Red Sox guy to replace the current Red Sox guy as the co-host here.
What would you fix? What would you fix? Obviously, the mispronunciation of everything is probably what we need. That's probably the AI would be great, right? That AI would be fantastic. So on your side, it would be a Crier that wouldn't look up an AI to replace me because he would think that I'm actually special in all my mistakes and blunder, everything that I am. But I know it's okay. But again, that pretty much wraps it up. The one last thing I do want to touch on is High on Life. 1 out of 10. What are we at?
Yeah, so graphics wise, really cool.
It looks really sick.
It looks really good. Like the graphics are definitely really well
smooth,
done. Very
funny,
smooth.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is like mediocre, I would say. Like the actual gameplay. Not choppy, it's a shooter, but I don't get challenged that much. I have it on like
no,
middle.
This is not a
it's not challenging or anything like that. It's very it's just like a story. And the story is, if you like Rick and Morty, it's like a 20-hour Rick and Morty episode.
Okay. Like, by the way, it is with the co-creators of Rick and Morty. Is that the voice of Morty?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does a bunch of different voices on Rick and Morty, but it's Justin Roiland, and then some other big names are in there too. You watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Like in the later episodes where the guy's living with Larry David.
Yes. I don't remember the name, but yes.
I can't remember his name too, but he's one of the voices of one of the guns are like
all personalities, human,
yeah.
like the whole nine, right? It's
when you aim down the scope of the gun, it's just like Morty staring at you, like super close, like just eyes.
He's like looking at you. No, it's super cool.
Yeah.
But on the sense of if you do have Game Pass, it is free on that side, on the Xbox side, as well as a PC, if I'm not mistaken. On the other side,
it's like $1 for EA game if you have a EA game. I got like you just do an EA Game Pass or whatever for like a trial or something like that, and
you should be able to get it. Yeah. So
again, it was pretty cool. That I will say, he's the guy who also made the Art Gobbler stuff, right? That guy his imagination is just literally fucking insane. Like,
hey, listen, we have him. We have James Cameron saying that he came out with Avatar because of a dream he had one random like Tuesday. So these people in this world that make these sci-fis and these stories, it just go listen. It goes to character development and it goes to storytelling. When we talk about it, it's not because we just want our NFT projects to actually do something. It's literally because it is insane when you get a true story that people are engaged and want to learn more about and want to be a part of. It's truly remarkable. From Marvel to freaking One Piece. By the way, one last time, thank you. This is like the greatest Funko I've ever had in my entire life. And all these other
why is it in its
incredible
box? What's going on here?
Oh, no, I'm not that. Listen, I do have some. Obviously, you can see like some are out and some aren't, but this boy has to be like, I gotta show this. I gotta show Luffy off here. But again, back to it's just truly important to find that your Stan Lee, the voice, the storyteller of all these things. And when games, like you said, High on Life, when they have that storytelling, even though the game isn't that hard, it's still enjoyable and it's like a show, it's like a movie. And when we think about these NFT projects, that is what we want. We want something to fulfill the character that if it's Blue Cat, if it's an ape, if it's a gutter cat, if it's a dead fella, if it's a doodle, whatever it is, we need more to it, or it's just always just going to be that a JPEG, right? Hopefully that's what these projects are leading into, and we can see it in the next bull run in 2084.
Yeah, let's do it, baby.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for us here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of JPEGs. No, that's not the right one. Another episode of Nerd FT Radio. I'm telling you, it's episode 105, and I still don't have an outro to this, but one of these days I will get it. But we'll catch you guys next. Building the metaverse and podcasting of Web3 brick by brick. We'll catch you
by digital brick.
We'll catch you next. Not even next week. We'll catch you later this week. Peace.